Hello everyone, welcome back to Chapter 5. Today, we will focus on Unit 5, how to keep data safe from security threats. Let's have a quick review on that video. Last time, we introduced different types of cybersecurity threats. Also, we introduced some ways to prevent from them. Today, we will introduce more ways to keep ourselves safe. Let's start today's unit. In many computer systems, user accounts control a user's right. This often involves having different levels of access for different people. For example, in a hospital, it would not be appropriate for a cleaner to have access to medical data about a patient. However, a consultant would need access to this vital data. Therefore, most systems have a hierarchy of access levels depending on a person's level of security. This is usually achieved using a username and password. When using databases, levels of access are particularly important. It is essential to determine who has the right to read, write, and delete data. By having different views of data tables, it is possible for different users to only have access to certain data. Another area where access levels are very important is in social networks, such as Facebook. With this type of application, there are usually 4 access levels. First is public access. This refers to the data anyone from the general public can access. Second is friends. Only people identified as friends by the owner of the data can see certain data. Third is custom. This allows the user to further refine what data can be seen by friends, allowing them to exclude certain content from selected people. Fourth is data owner. This is data only the owner of the data can see. In this type of application, users are allowed to use privacy settings rather than passwords to decide the level of access. Two most common types of anti-malware, antivirus and anti-spyware. Antivirus has already been described in great detail in Chapter 4. You can go to check videos in Chapter 4. Anti-spyware software detects and removes spyware programs installed illegally on a user's computer system. The software is based on one of the following methods. First is rules. In this case, the software looks for typical features which are usually associated with spyware, thus identifying any potential security issues. Second is file structures. In this case, there are certain file structures associated with potential spyware, which allows them to be identified by the software. Anti-spyware is now often part of a generic malware bundle that contains an antivirus, anti-spyware, and a personal firewall. There are some general features of anti-spyware. You can pause this video to watch them in details. Authentication refers to the ability of a user to prove who they are. There are 3 common factors used in authentication. First, something you know, for example, a password or PIN code. Second, something you have, for example, a mobile phone or tablet. Third, something which is unique to you, for example, biometrics. There are a number of ways authentication can be done, such as passwords and usernames, biometrics, two-step verification. First, passwords and usernames are used to restrict access to data or systems. They should be hard to crack and change frequently to retain any real level of security. There are some ways you can do to protect your password. Second, biometrics. Biometrics can be used in much the same way as passwords, as a way of identifying a user. Biometrics relies on certain unique characteristics of human beings. Examples include fingerprint scans, retina scans, face recognition, and voice recognition. You can compare them with this table. Third, two-step verification. It requires 2 methods of authentication to verify who a user is. It is used predominantly when a user makes an online purchase using a credit debit card as payment method. The process is shown in this picture. Automatic software updates means software on computers and mobile phones or tablets is kept up to date. Sometimes this is done overnight or when you log off the device. These updates are vital since they may contain patches that update the software security or improve the software performance. For example, removal of bugs and addition of new features. The only downside to this is the potential for updates to disrupt your device following installation. When emails are sent to you, there are some actions you always need to take before opening them or activating any links in them. First, check out the spellings in the email and in the links. Professional, genuine organizations will not send out emails which contain spelling or major grammatical errors. Then, carefully check the tone used in the email message. If it is rushing you into doing something, or if the language used seems inappropriate or incorrect, then it could be a phishing email or worse. There are 5 things to look out for. First, carefully check the part of the address after the @ symbol, which should match the company's name. Second, the tone of the email and bad spelling of words is a clear identification of a potential scam. Third, misspelling of domain names in the link are very common errors found in emails sent by scammers and fraudsters. Fourth, suspicious links. Destination addresses should match the rest of the emails. Fifth, be cautious of spelling mistakes. A firewall can be either software or hardware. It sits between the user's computer and an external network and filters information in and out of the computer. This allows the user to decide whether or not to allow communication with an external source, and it also warns a user that an external source is trying to access their computer. Firewalls are the primary defense to any computer system to help protect it from hacking, malware, phishing, and pharming. The main tasks carried out by a firewall are shown in this picture. There are certain circumstances in the picture where the firewall can't prevent potential harmful traffic. Proxy servers act as an intermediate between the user and a web server. In this picture, it shows how proxy server acts as an intermediate. Some features of proxy servers are shown in this picture. Privacy settings are the controls available on web browsers, social networks, and other websites that are designed to limit who can access and see a user's personal profile. Privacy settings can refer to following. First, a do not check setting. The intention here is to stop websites collecting and using browsing data, which leads to improved security. Second, a check to see if payment methods have been saved on websites. This is a useful safety feature which prevents the need to type in payment details again. Since every time you have typed in financial details, there will be a risk of data interception. Third, safer browsing. An alert is given when the browser encounters a potentially dangerous website. The undesirable website will be in a blacklist. Store on a user's computer. Fourth, web browser privacy options. For example, storing browsing history, storing cookies. Fifth, website advertising opt-outs. A website may be tracked by any number of third parties who gather information about your browsing behavior for advertising purposes. 6. Apps. For instance, the sharing of location data in map apps can be switched off. Secure Sockets Layer (SSL) is a type of protocol. protocol is a set of rules used by computers to communicate with each other across a network. SSL allows data to be sent and received securely over the internet. When a user logs onto a website, SSL encrypts the data. Only the user's computer and the web server are able to make sense of what is being transmitted. An SSL certificate is a form of digital certificate which is used to authenticate a website. This means any communication or data exchange between browser and website is secure, provided this certificate can be authenticated. A user will know if SSL is being applied when they see HTTPS or the small padlock in the status bar at the top of the screen as you can see in the picture. Figure 5.23 shows what happens when a user wants to access a secure website and receive and send data to it. In this picture, it shows examples of where SSL would be used. Finally, it's about the end of this video. Let's have a quick recap of this unit. In this video, we introduced more ways to keep data safe from those security threats. In the future, you can keep these in mind to protect yourselves. That's all for Chapter 5. Thank you.